Hi all, welcome back to more of the other side of the hill. So, this is my part 16, I think. I just came straight back there to get this started at least. Probably not get through the whole part. I just realised that I haven't uploaded part 14 yet. So, but it does look sort of like, this little glitch at Martin. I felt like that movement maybe shouldn't be allowed. The way I read that thread looks like it is okay, I think. So hopefully everything's going okay. So let's just move on. I'll just get a bit more done before I have to call it a night. Off to bed early tonight. Back to work and all. Spring, 1941, spring. Just starting the spring administrative phase, and so we have the bombing of Germany. You can see we're still managing that well enough. No issues there, so no effect. Moving on, German replacements. Right, okay. Well, I just finished the last part, not that long ago, with the fact that we've now been able to open this port and have supply here. So, let's just say Wehrmacht replacements. Yeah, see, it doesn't give you that. It doesn't give you too much on the cards there, does it? Yeah, you can't add it to isolated areas, but that's been done. But there was a little rule in there that I think... No, it's only movement. It's only movement, Grant. Where is it? Yeah. Operational movement limitation. In a single operations phase, a maximum of one army per front can be moved to or from an area with a naval supply marker. In a single operations phase, a maximum of one army per front. The only way I'm thinking that it's worded that way is, because how can we get armies from another front into here? Well, we can. Mind you, no, it doesn't mention strategic movement, does it? But, hang on. Let's see the strategic movement rules. Satellite armies may only use strategic movement to move to areas in the eastern front. Satellite armies cannot be used. Yeah, I guess what I'm thinking. Well, first of all, I'm thinking, why is it worded? Why can you only have it from one army per front? One army per front. I guess I'm sort of thinking, let's just say no. It's got to have a naval supply marker. Let's just say we had... Well, there you go. Okay. That if we had controlled this, it would have a naval supply marker, right? So let's just say we could move something from this front into it and something from the southern front into it. So that's why it's worded that way, I think. Yeah, I guess I'm looking at this, and we can only move something from the southern front into this anyway, because there's not another front adjacent to it. In actual fact, I think, there's only two naval supply markers in the game then, isn't there? There's only the two areas, Libya and North Africa, isn't there? I think so. Right, had another doorbell going there. And there's a possibility another one might happen as well. It's one of the days. I think we were talking about the ports. It looks like the only... Oh, no. We've got Great Britain as well. It's got a port. I think that's that as well, though. But I suppose, adjacency-wise, North Africa is the only one that's adjacent to different fronts. No, it's adjacent to its own front, and it's adjacent to the southern front, and it's adjacent to the western front as well. So maybe that's why it's worded that way. Unless I'm not picking up right. But what does make me wonder, strategic movement, if we've got anything in here that says see limitations in 4.2.2, I thought I'd looked at that though. Does that restrict? No. There's a limitation which I just looked at. That's about the satellite armies. You cannot move armies to bases or to from areas with an isolated marker. Fair enough. See, there's no restriction within that. So the operational movement limitation is the one. So I want to say, I think we've possibly slipped up here, that if we had, well, hold on here though. We can only have one German army in here anyway. But we could have had another satellite army in here, possibly. Yeah, because I can't. Oh no, Grant. You can move a satellite army from there to there. No, but that's what I'm talking about. My restrictions. Well, that's fine. That's fine. You can still move one from there to there, and with what we were doing just now, the replacements. Did I not just look at that to see if it was restricted? Army cannot be moved to an area if there's not at least one army of that type in the force pool. Can't go isolated. Yeah, deploy one reduced army in an area with an access control disk based on stacking limits. Yeah, no, that's fine. I think within the movement phase we're going to be able to move one of these into here, and we could deploy. I suppose it's just going to be a regular army. I think we should do that though. Yeah. So yeah, and how many replacements? We've got 3 Wehrmacht replacements, right? So let's put one in here. And we can do that now because this is in supply, it's not isolated. I suppose I should put it that way. And then, yeah, if we feel the need, which I probably will, I could move that army down. Remember, we're only allowed one German army in any, within all Italian areas at the moment. So that's one. Well, we've probably got something here as well, don't we? What are we doing next turn though? What are we doing in the spring here? Military wise. Invasion of the USSR? No, because that needs to be the summer. Well, we could start preparing more for that. Right, we talked about invasion of Spain. Invasion of Yugoslavia season is not winter, so that opens up to us as well. I'm kind of not sure about that, but yeah. Hi all. Right, back to continue this part 16. That phone call turned out to be the end of the day for me yesterday. So I think I've only got 8 minutes started here, haven't I? Right, and I was just starting. It was probably just as well watch it back because it was not a great place to finish it. But I suppose I had the phone call and then I had to stop sort of immediately. And no, I have placed 1 replacement there, and we've still got 2 to go. And I was talking about placing 1 here because I felt like this could be strengthened, and then I decided to look at what we might be doing military directive wise. There's a couple of comments that have came in from Carlos, the designer, so I wanted to talk about them as well. Well, I suppose I can just start by talking about them. So he's kind of confirmed this whole thing that Martin brought up regarding moving to another front and then still being able to move the army. Martin did respond again, but I felt like it looked like it was clear in that thread. I don't know if Martin hadn't looked at the thread yet, or maybe he was just commenting on how he felt about it. Anyway, Carlos replied, "I'm sorry to contradict Notebook LM." Like I say, whatever that is, I've not used any of these things before. But I stand by what I said in BGG. You can activate one front to move an army to an adjacent front. Then, if you have not activated that front yet in the current operational movement step, you can activate it and move the army again. There's nothing in the rules against it. Admittedly, I don't see there anything in the rules to say against it. Maybe I should read Martin's follow-up comment though, because that sort of suggests something. Finishing off, my design tenet all through was that the game had no memory. In each step and segment, you just deal with what you have on the board. So that was what his thinking was. Yeah, what was Martin's reply to my... I replied back to him saying that yeah, that I was about to go and ask a question, then I found the thread. Yeah, but he replied. He says, you move the fronts in order. Once you begin moving armies in another front, you can no longer move an army from the first front. Yeah, I understand that. So in your example, an army in the Western Front can move to the Southern Front, but no further, because you already moved the Southern Front. Yeah. Oh, hold on. So if, in your example, an army in the Western Front can move to the Southern Front, but no further, because... Yeah, sorry, okay. I was basically just sort of saying... I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think I see what he's saying, because I was saying I could just as easily have moved from an army from the Western Front to the Southern Front, because I thought he was trying to say that you couldn't do that. But the reason he was saying you couldn't do that is well, yeah, you couldn't move it any further than that because I've already activated the Southern Front. I get that part, so we might be getting wires crossed there a little bit. That's what he found out. Yeah, I think that's what he's... I think I see what he's sort of saying there. That the fact we were able to move this army into another front and then into there, and into there with the Southern Front operational movement, then move on to the Western Front operational movement. Now, I could move an army from there to there in the Western Front operational movement, but I wouldn't be able to move it any further forward or move it again because I've already activated the Southern Front. Yeah, I get all that bit, but I think that was fair enough. But I see what you're saying. Maybe when you said that I wouldn't be able to do that, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Where's the... I thought you had it in our comments somewhere, I thought there was something else. Right, pause the now, Grant. Oh, sorry, it was that comment. Let me read that bit again. You move fronts in order. Once you begin moving armies in another front, you can no longer move an army from the first front. Yeah, but if it's moved into the other front, in this case, then apparently you can still do that. And I don't think I read in the rules that said that once an army's made a move with one part of the operational movement, it can't move again. I think if it said that, then it would be clear that we couldn't do that. However, let's not go into it too deeply. The designer has confirmed that it is okay to do that. Yeah, it might feel a little bit odd, I guess, but fair enough, that's how it is. Right, and then Carlos also commented here. This is part 13 as well, about the 56-57 mark. 56 minutes, 57 second mark. I probably spoke wrongly about this. I think I would have realised. I've obviously spoke about having to leave an army in Yugoslavia, but I don't have to, because Yugoslavia, although it's partisan, it's neutral. So I clearly have spoke wrongly about having to leave an army in there. Because his comment says you do not have to leave an army in Yugoslavia as long as it's neutral. Only occupied countries with a partisan symbol must be garrisoned at all times. and he highlights 4.2 general movement restriction. He carries on, I'm very interested in your strategy. Well, strategy? Okay, I'm just trying to think my way through things and at a slow pace, as you can see, and enjoy the game. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. Whether anything clever is going to come through it or not, well, he carries on. I must be trying to build up resources here. I mean, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do, really. I know what I have to try and achieve and hold out for as long as possible, and I know that at the moment things are sort of easiest for us. But once we get the USSR involved, then it's going to be different, you know. Anyway, I'm very interested in your strategy. This expansion for resources will pay off in the short run. It's already paying off. Yeah, okay. But I want to see how it works out in the long run when you may be forced to defend a few more areas than historically with a similar army size. Right, okay. I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops. Great game. I hope you're starting to feel that the game does offer alternatives to the historical path as it moves forward. Yeah, I mean, well, I think we're going to see us. I think we're going to be invading Spain shortly. So that didn't happen. I don't know what ever happened. No, I think Spain stayed neutral throughout. Now I don't know about some of these other areas that I'm in as well. I mean, I suppose these must have been. You know what? I'm not really sure about how it all went down. I know the main parts, I suppose, but yeah, no. And I suppose I was maybe having a little gripe about things were following history and whatever. It wasn't affecting my enjoyment, and I think I was sort of wondering about the replayability, but as Martin highlighted to me, and which I'd forgotten about, there's the variations and that sort of, what is it again? Anyway, how you can set things up at the beginning. Campaign select, whatever the thing was, that you can alter the maybe commencement of the war, start it earlier, start it later, things like that, which is good. But yeah, like I say, I'm not. I don't know exactly how it all went down. We might not have had made these invasions at this time. They might not have happened at all. Yeah, I suppose it sort of felt like everything was just going on a sort of scripted, like it was said. But that's not, like I say, it's not a bad thing, and the game's wanting to stay like that. And there will be some little things that change up. Like I say, if we do go for Spain here, and like I say, there might be other things that have happened already that I'm not quite sure if they were different or not. Anyway, thanks for your comments. Yeah, what he's saying there is we're reaping the rewards at the moment by taking all these different resources, and I'm talking about taking Spain here as well. But like he's also hinted there, we're going to have to defend these areas if we want to keep these resources, and we've got the same amount of army as what you would if we didn't go and take Spain. You know, we're not getting anything. Well, that's saying. You're saying we've got the same amount of army. These resources, well, yeah. No, generally you're going to have your Wehrmacht replacements at 3 as much as you can, aren't you? You're always going to want them at 3. So it probably is the same amount of forces we're going to have, isn't it? These resources are just going to be able to get used on probably running some better directives maybe at times, and keeping the Luftwaffe and strategic warfare replacements up as well. Possibly something along the lines. Right, anyway, let's get back to the game, because that was... So, yeah, I've placed one replacement already. I've got 2 more to place, and we were looking at what we're going to do. Well, we can't do Barbarossa because it's not summer, right? So let's just set that aside. I think we want to do... I'm going to do it. We're going to go for Spain and give it a go. We get Gibraltar. Place an occupied marker. Spain occupied. Place an occupied marker in base Gibraltar. We need to take Madrid, which is the second sector, which again is plains though, so we're going to come in at Barcelona, aren't we? Attack Barcelona, and then do the second advance in at Madrid, hopefully, if it all goes well, and we get Gibraltar, so that gives us another +1 to our naval supply as well. Okay, so I think I'd like to do that. As for the invasion of Yugoslavia, the season is not winter, so we can do that as well. We need to take Belgrade, which is, it's just a step into there from Vienna. You can see our armies aren't great there though. I'm not sure about that one. I think what keeps putting me off is the card. What is it? What was the leader of Yugoslavia? Was it Tito or? That's what the card's called. Is it Tito? Anyway, one of the playthroughs that came up. Actually, that was the guy that maybe was putting cards back and shouldn't have been putting them back. So I say it came up more than once. Maybe it shouldn't have been put back in the deck. I think he kept putting it back in the deck and it kept coming up and it was pretty brutal. Then again, maybe it does go back in the deck. They might have been doing it right. Anyway, I guess it was putting me off that. And that was if Yugoslavia was not neutral. So it's kind of sort of putting me off there a little bit. Probably shouldn't be that. Right, let's concentrate on Spain then. Well, can we put another Panzer? No, we can't. We don't have any other Panzer armies without moving some anyway. We don't have any in the force pool. Now we could shuffle about by getting this one in Belgium, Holland. So should we upgrade the regular army to? The reduced army to regular, maybe? Yeah, let's do that. Mind you, wanted to do some... means you're only going to get a regular down there. A reduced one. Let's do that. So mind you, do I really need to upgrade that? Probably not, actually. Now... Oh, yeah, stop, Grant. Remember, when you attack Spain, you're only going to get to attack with 3 armies anyway. Right, so we're not going to increase that then. Well spotted. Because we're not going to get the benefit from another, for making that a regular army. Not on the attack in Spain, anyway. We could benefit by switching places with that Panzer army, maybe, which I might do. So... Will we just put the 2 in here, or will we put something in Turkey as well? Turkey's got the 2 Panzer armies, mind you. Why don't we just do the last 2 and put both of these here? Mind. Well, the other thing is, right, I think I'm definitely putting 1 in there. The other thing is, we are going to consider Barbarossa in the summer. And remember, it's got to be in the summer, so if it's not summer 1941... that's going to be summer 1942. I just don't know if it's how wise it is to leave it till the summer of 1942. There's a landing marker comes into play in 1942 as well, so you've got to be thinking about landings start happening over in either these southern areas in Italy and Africa, or Spain itself, possibly, or even France, but so yeah, I'd put 3. Got 3 armies there, but we need Romania and Bulgaria populated more, and Poland. But we are going to be able to bring back some armies. I think I should take a chance and. I think I'm going to go in here and I think Nama. Oh, let's do it. And then I'll maybe just put Barbarossa off and we'll see what happens. Right, so that was my third one. And in Middle East. Yeah, okay. Let's go with that. So that was 3 Wehrmacht replacements. We've got 2 Luftwaffe. Again, still not the ability to put that up. Now, that is the Germany box or the air naval control. Germany box is fine. Air naval control, well, we could bump this to 5 again. Which isn't a terrible idea. And yeah, so we've got 2, so I'm going to put yeah, I think I will. I think I'll bump that up to 5 again. And then the other Luftwaffe replacement I'll put in the Western. Because Spain is a Western front, so we don't want the risk of that going down to 1 and then them getting an extra an extra dice out of that. So okay, that's our Luftwaffe replacements, and again, without zooming in up there, we've got strategic warfare is only at 1, but fortunately that's all we need to take it up to 3 again. So good there. Right, I'm not moving my marker here. And then, oh no, it just moves now. For some reason that's a different step. So satellite replacements. We've got 2 countries. We need 2 yellow dice. Looking for a hit symbol. Just the one. I'll do. That'll do it. Let's say we got 2 of them there, but it doesn't matter. You still only get 1 satellite replacement. Right. So it can either be Romania and Bulgaria or Italy. I'm pretty sure I'm taking the Romania and Bulgaria because that then leaves 1 in each country as well, giving us the 2 yellow dice again next turn. And I talked about wanting to build this up anyway, so that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, it's not the best forces to be building it up with, but at least it's an extra army in there. So that was satellite replacements. So moving on to the production table. Well, I don't think nothing's changed, but we do need to check our directives and what we want to do there. Let's just see, we're 13, so at the moment I've got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. How did I manage that then? How did you manage that, Grant? Was that because we played a card that... I think it was, wasn't it? So you get a temporary boost for that season. Oh, let's see, it's... If I look at the last... Political... Probably production directive. No. No. I do recall playing something that moved it up, didn't it? Well, I don't see that in the discard pile here. Activation of Obsud, Diplomacy, Italy, submarine bases. No. Submarine bases. Now, what am I missing here then? I'm missing one of these obvious things again, haven't I? Did I not play a card that allowed me to move that up? You know what? It goes back in the deck, Grant. It doesn't become discarded. So it'll be under here. Forced Labour, was it that one? Yes. Was that. We played that last turn. Move 1 replacement marker 1 box to the right after playing it. It goes back in the deck. So yeah, just checking my political directives. I want to see did one of them go back as well? No, I don't think it did. Right, so that's what moved the Wehrmacht. That's why I was able to knock the Wehrmacht one down, then I played it and then bumped it up again. So we are going to have to reduce something there. Right, what we got... well, for... You know what? I don't think I'm going to go for Yugoslavia. These are the costs here. Barbarossa's in bottom there, so that's 3. We're not doing that anyway. Spain is a cost of 2, and Yugoslavia is a cost of 1. Now we could do both of them if we were wanting to leave that at 3. Well, what else have you got? Political. No, what are the production directives then? Well, we've got Tiger and Panther. USSR needs to be at war, so we can't play that. Project Assault Guns, which we had the chance to play, and now we're not, because we've not got a Panzer Army in the force pool. Which I'm starting to wonder if that was a bad idea or not to do that. So the one that we can play, which we've played already, and it's on the project track, is Strategic Bombers again. And that's at the cost of 2. Okay, so that's good. So I only need to play a cost of 2 in the production. So we can knock that down to there. So that would be okay. And that would allow us to keep military at 3 to be able to do the invasion of Spain and Yugoslavia. However, what about... Well... okay. So it's about our political directives now here. So we've got bribing generals, which is a 1. And at the moment, well, it's sitting at 1, so we're happy with the number. So we would be able to play that comfortably. Just reduces unrest by 1 and then gets put back in the deck. Well, there's Diplomacy Spain, which is a cost of 3 to start with. But, you know what? I'm not going to do that. We're just going to get rid of that. We're not going to play that next turn. And then the last one was Unrestricted Summoning Warfare, which is a 2 cost. Fanaticism +1, Strategic Warfare +1, which I can't do anyway. US Commitment +1. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So, actually I only need the 1 point for bribing generals there. Well, I think... the thing is, it's a waste if you leave that military directive at 3. Because, you know... so I'm leaving that at 1. I'm wanting that at 2. But you need to be sure you're going to do this, Grant. I mean, I could knock the military directive down to 2 and put another point in either strategic warfare replacements, or maybe just boost the consumer goods up by 1. So do you want to do the Yugoslavia thing? I've got this sort of feeling that tells me I don't. I don't know. Just not sure. Doesn't give me a resource or anything. And the fact that it's neutral, is it going to come and haunt me, that? If we just allow Yugoslavia to just sit there neutral in amongst it all? I don't know if that's a major problem or not. I might find something. The other thing is possibly going to be an event coming along and does it for us anyway. Yeah. Well, that's like what Carlos pointed out. The one good thing about it, if we leave it neutral, we don't need to leave an army in there at all. Which could help pushing armies out into setting up for Barbarossa. I don't know what the benefit to really... I mean, I know what it does. The consumer goods, if I bump it up to 2, it bumps my fanaticism up by 1. But... yeah, I'm going to not do the Yugoslavia then. So I'm going to drop that down to 2. And I think I'm going to move that up. Now that has an effect right away. So let's be... sure, I've got 13 to play with, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and if I move that up, that's 13. I mean, I can't move the Luftwaffe one up yet into 3 yet anyway, and the strategic warfare going up to 2 would probably end up being a waste. Thing is, I might knock this back down again. I'm probably going to end up knocking it back down. Well, if you're not going to do anything else with the point, though, you know. Okay, I'm going to put that up then. And then that knocks my fanaticism up by 1. Right. Let's go with that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Right, what are we on now? That was a production table. So now we're moving on to our production directives, which we set at 2. And it was just to play the project for the strategic bombers again. So we're going to play this again. Well, we've played it already. It's on the track, so we're just playing this again, and we need to roll a 4+, basically, and then that card still comes back anyway, whether we win or lose. Well, if we lose, we get a -1. That would be marker on it. So we're rolling, and there's no modifiers, is there? No, we just need a 4+. Okay. Yeah, and you need to do it 3 times. We've done it once. Yeah, we need to do 2 more. So 4+. Right, no, we fail this time. So because we've failed, we get this marker on it. So next time when we play it, we're going to get a -1 modifier to that. A -1 modifier to the 4+. So it's going to be it'll advance on a 3+. Right, and that goes back into our hand. As such, that is our production directives. Our political directives, which we just left set at 1. Was just going to be, might as well play this now then. So unrest -1, after playing this card, return it to the political directives deck. So unrest -1, which is, where's that again? That's here. So unrest down to -2, and then that goes back in the deck. Yeah. Right, and then we're going to move on to our military directives, aren't we? Military directives, which we reduced it down to 2, and we're just going to go for Spain. So we're going to play That's the Amazing of Spain. Isabella. Prerequisite: the Axis controls southern France. We do. So we're going to activate Spain, 3.4.1. Combat pawns, we get 1 pawn. It's going to go in Area 24. Our objective is to take Madrid. And then our success, we're going to get Spain occupied, and we're going to get an occupied marker in Base A, Gibraltar. So that's going to be our military objective. So I'll put that there with the combat pawn. And then we'll activate Spain 3.4.1. Just to remind me, there's not an awful lot to this, is there? Activating countries. So place a Western control disk in the lowest numbered available. Lowest numbered, that's not the right word, Grant. The lowest numbered free sector in each of the country's home areas, but not in bases. So the lowest number this time that's free, they're all free this time. The one that threw me before was because there was a lower number than we were in Metz, weren't we? And the lowest number was Frankfurt. However, it's not free because we actually control Metz and Frankfurt at the time. This is different though, so this is going in Barcelona, which is the lowest numbered. And now there's no other Spanish home countries, is there? Home areas. There's just Spain, I believe. Yeah, there's nothing else. And then the second step is place a disputed alignment marker in the alignment box of all countries' home areas that contain an access control disk. Well, that Spain does not control an access control disk. And place a Western alignment marker in the rest of the country's home areas, including bases. Right, well, Gibraltar's home is already got a Western control map, but its home area is Great Britain anyway. But it must be because we take Spain, we get Gibraltar, I guess. Right, so we need a Western control marker and a Western alignment marker in there as well. Right, that's us activated Spain, so we can move on. That's our military directives. Right, on the operations phase 1 at 32, that's only 40 minutes. I think we could push on. Start picking it up a bit, Grant. Right, well, yeah, it won't pick up that much more, honestly. Right, spring of 1941, operations phase, strategic warfare. So our value is at 3. One of which is grey, so a grey and 2 white dice for us, and we're going to draw a card for them, aren't we? Yeah, so draw a combat card. Strategic warfare value for 1941 is just a 1. Good. So they're only getting 1 dice. That feels like that was quite fortunate. Oh, I'm looking at that right, am I not? 1941, strategic warfare. 1, yeah, okay. So let's roll and see what we get. We don't want theirs to be a plane symbol. Oh, it is. Oh my. That was horrible. How about that? I don't think, no, we needed hits. We need to hit. The tank does nothing. So they've got 1 hit and we've not got any. So Western hits greater than distributed differences hits to strategic warfare and Germany air naval control tracks. Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying because that would have boosted us +1 on the air naval control on the Western Front, which would have been nice. So we can either take it here or here. I'm going to take it here again, which isn't disastrous, but it would have been nice to have won that, and that to have went up by 1. Okay, that wasn't too good. Right, right, operational movement now. So, I feel like I should be probably spending a bit more time this time on this. Yeah, that's the other thing. That would have boosted that up. And they all give you extra movement points, so I always seem to not sort of register until we get to this step. Yeah. Anyway, so well, it's at 3. I thought about switching 2 of these about. I think I've got to really decide now if I'm going to just lead Barbarossa till 1942. You know, because that could decide on my movement here. Yeah. I think maybe I do want to do that. Let's so what happens if I come down to Spain? Then you do have the option of going into North Africa then? Do you? Well, I suppose you'd need a card for that as well, Grant, wouldn't you? What are my military directives? Offensive in Libya or Egypt. That's 1940. Invasion of Great Britain, conquest of Great Britain. They're 1940. So 1941 is invasion of USSR, Barbarossa 2. I know I'm not showing you these, but conquest of Malta, conquest of Gibraltar. Well, I think we're going to get Gibraltar Right, hang on. Does that card not say that we just automatically get Gibraltar? Whereas that says that we need to control Spain to be able to do that. Am I missing something there? Because if we succeed to take Madrid, it says Spain occupied, place an occupied marker on base A Gibraltar. Why do you need that card? Or how can you do that card without... That doesn't make sense to me again, but it could just be me. That seems to be something wrong there. Oh, right, okay. Let's leave that for now. If somebody knows what the differences are there, or... Because when I take over Spain, according to that card, I automatically get Gibraltar. So why do I need to do that? And to do that, I need to control Spain. I'm missing something again there. Right, then we move on to 1942 cards. So you've got Conquest of Moscow, Conquest of Sevastopol, Conquest of Caucasus, Conquest of Caucasus 2, Conquest of Leningrad, Conquest of Iran and Iraq. Okay, and that's it. So North Africa must... Well, it's part of Vichy, innit? So that must fall some other way. There's no military directive to go at. Not in 1942, anyway. No, I can't see any of that. So there must be different ways of that happening. So why was I want to look at that? Yeah, about where we're going to go next. What we're going to do when we go into Spain, I suppose. I think I want to do the Spain thing though. So movement on the Western Front. Then we've got 3 movement points, if you like. That's annoying then. So if I do move that Panzer Army. Right, I'm going to do... Strategic movement, I'm a bit forgetting how that works again. Move from an area to the strategic movement box and or from the strategic movement box. Yeah, okay, so that I can move them from... I can move operational movement, then I can strategically move armies from here into there if I want, and then into other fronts, and kind of, yeah. So, right, I'm going to do this for 1, and I don't know. I need to move one of them out of there now, so... oh no, I can't wait till strategic movement, because you check it, don't you? Yeah, 4 stacking limits after all operational movement is complete. Yeah, so I can't wait till the strategic movement. So I'm going to move one of these regular armies from here into here, I think. For some strange reason. Because once I'm done with Spain here... There's no other offensive I can carry on. I mean, I've got to defend these areas, but... so that's 2. And then for a third operational movement on the Western Front... that doesn't work. No, I'm going to have to strategically move. I'm only going to get one of them, I'm gonna... Well, unless I can get a satellite army into there. Now, hold on. Is that not something that you can't do? The satellite armies move to the... They can only move with strategic movement to the Eastern Front, is it? To move to areas in the Eastern Front. Yeah. So what I could really do is satellite army, maybe a couple in here, so that I can leave them in here and here. I mean, I actually don't want to leave this that bare, Grant. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. No, that's not adjacent. I'm fine. Until they can start landing, everything's fine there. Apart from Spain. Spain's going to be able to be attacked by North Africa. Right, so I've got one more, have I? There's nowhere else I can really move it, is there? Like I say, I'm not bothered about Northern France at the moment. I'm not bothered about Denmark, Norway. Someone's going to come along and say you should have been bothered. Probably, but... okay, so that's my Western Front operational movement done. So let's go to... I think maybe my Southern Front. No, hold on. Let's do Eastern first, I think. What is Eastern? That's only 2. Ugh, yuck. So that's only 2. See, I could do... I mean, I put these in here thinking I was going to start Barbarossa, and now I'm talking about not doing it. So I could do 1, 2... and then do Eastern Front. Eastern Front's got 5, so 1... Yeah, okay. Let me do... So from my Eastern Front, I've got 2 points. I'm going to move 1 into here. He stays okay. He's still got 2 armies. And then still on the Eastern Front, I'm going to move this into adjacent Greece, I think. Or why? Wait a minute. Yeah, I was thinking a better force on there though, wasn't it? That was the plan. Yeah, I'll just stick with that. So 1, 2. That's the Eastern Front operational movement complete. Right, and then Southern Front, well, I've got 5 movement here, right? So ideally, I'm thinking move that along. Oh, I could have... No, you can't, because you've got this full now, Grant. Yeah, but it quite liked... Well, unless... Hang on. I could move one of these... Well, that was silly then. You could have put that in there. If you knew you were going to do that. Now you're just... I could have... Because I... Did I not... Sorry, I'm not showing you this. I'm talking about Middle East here. Did I not deploy 2 armies into there? And now I'm talking about move 1 back into there so that I can get a stronger army in, but... Yeah, that was a bit silly. Well, see if I've got the movement to do it. Because I thought about moving these 2 out into northern Italy so that I can then get them across. Again, no, but I can't strategically move them. So these have to move through northern Italy into the Western Front. They have to move from adjacent. So that would be 1, 2 if I move both of them, which I can move both of them. This isn't partisan. So I'd have 3 more left, so I could do 1, 2, 3, yeah, I could do that. Sort of strengthen, sort of make Turkey and Middle East something similar. Okay, I'm going to do. Well, actually, we should have a vacancy here at the moment. But well, yeah, that should still be the same. So I'm going to move. That's 1. Do you want to make them both even? Or is it not better to keep Turkey a bit stronger? It sort of feels like I should keep Turkey a wee bit stronger, but I mean, both of them are going to be attacked. Yeah, I will. I'll keep Turkey a bit stronger. So that's when Middle East can't be landed in either. Yeah, so let's keep that like that. So that was 1, and then there would be temporarily do that in here, but I'm just about to move this out again. So 2, 3. Yeah, and then so vacancy there. He's good. There's no vacancy there. I think once you get to the next step, the command phase, you then look at these, don't you? I don't suppose you need to look at them just yet, because they're all going to just get vacancy markers if they're required. But 2 more to go, and I'm thinking as maybe moving both of these into Northern Italy. And do we need to worry about Southern Italy? Again, there's nothing can land there. Yeah, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to move my other 2 into here. And that way we can move these satellite armies. Maybe end up with 1 in there and 1 in there. Probably need a bit more force in Spain. But once the landings start, I'm going to have more than just a satellite army in these areas, I'm gonna. But, well, yeah, until that happens, which isn't that far away, to be honest, Grant. Okay, so that was my 5 movement and Southern Front. Okay, what am I at? 50 minutes there, and I had 8 already, didn't I? So, well, I should finish the movement phase. Right, so strategic movement, we've got 5 as well, because that's the Germany box. Okay, so... Well, I'm going to have to leave 1 there anyway. I suppose I could... Oh, hold on. Stop. I forgot about this area here, didn't I? Let me take these 2 back just now. So I was going to move 1 down to there, wasn't I? Because I can only have 1 German army in there. Oh, well, you can't have that there then, Grant. Right, so I messed up. How did that get there? That moved from there to there, didn't it? So I couldn't have done that. Okay, I'm going to have to rewind a little bit here. I mean, unless... Yeah, Grant, remember they're not adjacent. I'm making a mess of this, I'm moving them adjacent, Did we not have something in Greece there and I put it down there, but I moved it into there first? I'm making a mess of this. Let me I'm going to reset my movement. I'll have to look back on it. Whatever. Well, can't you just work it out, Grant? Okay, let's reset. Just rewind a little bit. So this was put. That was there. That was there. That was there. That was there. That was there, and that was there, wasn't it? Now this came in from the Eastern Front movement. So did I mess that about? Probably. Well, no, not necessarily, because I think it was in here. Yeah, because I had 3 of them in here. So I only had 2 movement, and I went 1, 2, which is right this time, because I can't just go 1 into there, because that's a different front. I need to move from adjacent. So that was correct. I'll come back to the Western one in a minute. So that was correct. That was 1, 2. And then here... No, I want to come back to the Southern Front. So I've reset that, haven't I? Think so, yeah. We went... What I did was... what did you do? I went 1, 2... 3, 4. No, I couldn't have done that. Because I had 5 movement. I felt like I moved this army 1, counting at 2, when I could have just directly moved it into there. Yeah, because I can... Yeah, grand. Just... Right, I've got it now. I've got 5 movement. 1 goes into there, because Southern Front is Southern Front. And then this one goes back. Hey, now hold on. No, it needs to go the other way about. I don't think it matters, because that's a partisan. 1 into there. And then 2 into there. So that's me only spent 2, whereas I had got it spending 3, because I was going through there, wasn't I? So I've got 3 more Southern Front movement. Right, hang on, you need to fix this. Right, I've got 3 more Southern Front movement. I know I'm making a right shambles of this. So I had 3 here, and what I did was move Panzer Army down for 1, move that in there for 2. I didn't use the 3rd movement point, did I? No, I did not. Right, so this can't move into here because it's overstacking. So what did we have up there? We had the Panzer Army there, and we had that in there. That's what we had. So remember, I've still got 3 movement on the Southern. I know I'm doing things all mixed up now, but I don't think I'm breaking any rules if we rewound it all and done it properly, because I broke a rule there. That shouldn't be allowed to go in there, because I'm only allowed 1 German army in the Southern Front, and I've got this one here. I can't move it out. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I could move it into there with strategic, though. Grantos. Yeah. It's difficult to do this, isn't it? Damn. Yeah, if I'm going to get anything more down there, I need to do it strategically. So that means I can't overstack. Well, can't you just switch 2 of these about like you were going to do originally? Yeah, that's fine. So what I do there is 1, 2, and that's my Western Front. Right, back to the 3 that I've got left on the Southern Front. No, because you can't have another German army there, Grant. Remember? Yeah. Okay. So I can't have another German army there anyway. So hang on. 1, 2. I've got one left, but I'm not going to use it. Right. Strategic movement. I've got 5. So one, 2, 3. No, I can't. I was thinking I can't abandon. Well, that's 3, innit? I don't know what I'm going to do. 4. I don't know. You've got that there, so. Oh no, I can't move that. I can't move satellite armies into there, can I? Well, I suppose you could do that then. 4, 5. And that leaves you these 2 to be able to move into there and take the 2. Yeah, let's do that. Right, air movement. Probably not doing anything with it. We've still got 5 in the southern. I don't really want to drop the eastern to 1. Oh, it's tempting. No, I don't think I should, because you want to watch the movement side of it when it comes around. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Right, I'm going to stop the video there. Moving on to command. I think I might be coming straight back though. I've still got a bit of time. Yeah, I might be. I'd really like to watch a bit of that back though. I feel like I might have messed things up there. Okay, well, see, I've done quite a bit. I've not watched back on all the footage that I've done up to now anyway, so things could have been wrong a while ago, but hopefully not. Okay, I'll cut this as a part and I'll come back with the next part shortly. Okay, cheers.